Hello and welcome to a new episode of Zero BS Estate Agency. Today we have estate agency expert Nick Kaye sharing invaluable insights into the art of selling your home for its maximum value. Have you ever wondered what truly matters when you are trying to get the best price for your property? It's a question that often leads to overthinking and misconceptions. Nick cuts through the noise and reveals the one thing that can significantly impact the sale of your home, and that is setting the price correct from the start. In this episode, Nick takes us on a journey through the world of estate agency, debunking common myths and shedding light on the data-backed truth. He shares research showing that properties sold within the first 2 weeks tend to fetch much closer to the asking price, while those lingering on the market often see a significant drop in value. But it's not just about numbers. Nick also explains why getting the price right matters more than you might think. He'll guide you through the nuances of pricing and reveal how buyers perceive value in today's competitive market. Right. Nick, what is the one thing that truly generates maximum value for someone when they go to sell their home?
This is one of these questions where you start overthinking, and a lot of agents and even people, the public, will think maximizing value for my home. Well, that's going to be home improvement and stuff like that, and maybe doing up my kitchen and doing up. But how many valuations have I been on? And people say to me, what do I need to do to the home? And 9.5 times out of 10, no, you don't have to do up your kitchen. You don't have to do up your bathroom. This is what you've got. Of course, maximizing in terms of marketing, you need to declutter, you need to present it in the best way. The photos need to be good. The marketing needs to be slick. But the one main thing that people genuinely don't even think about, because when you're saying maximizing, you think I'm going to do up my property, is the price. It's getting the price right. Then that is it. It's so important to get the price right the first time round. I did some research. Well, I had some research in one of my brochures years ago, which was from the Homeowner Alliance, I think. And it suggested that the properties that sell within the first 2 weeks, generally, the average is you get about the asking price, 99.4% of the asking price. If you go, the further you go down the line, so if you don't sell it in those 2 weeks and you sell it in 4 weeks, it goes to about 98%. And then it goes to 12 weeks and it drops down to barely 90% of the asking price. So it's so important to get the price right. And I think that whilst it makes, when the question's asked, maximizing value of your home doesn't ring out the alarm. It doesn't ring out the fact that you need to do the price, but the price is the main thing. So that's what's maximizing the value of your home, because your home has a value. Doesn't matter if it's a nice home, amazingly finished, or one which needs a bit of work. They've got their value. So how do we get to that value? And that's just by getting the price right. Simple as. So these days,
right, if we get the price right, happens if the price is correct? What's the benefit if the price is correct? And probably actually, what happens to a sale if the price is correct? You've banged the property on at exactly the right money. How does a seller know that the property has gone on exactly the right money?
Interest and viewings, eyes on the property. Simple as that. You're going on Rightmove, you're going on Zoopla. If you're not at the right price, you're not getting viewings. No, when people say to me, "Oh, I've only had one viewing with my agent," or "I've had no viewings in 3-4 weeks," and they say to me, "Why is that? Is it?" And there are, look, obviously, like I said, there's some agents that go around with their camera phones and do photos, and they look absolutely terrible. But 9.5 times out of 10 is because they got the price wrong. So if you've got the price wrong, you're not going to get the eyes on you. You're not going to get the viewing levels. If you don't get people through the door, what chance have you got of selling or even getting an offer? So if you get the price correct, you're going to get people through. And then there's a question to be said. Well, if I'm getting a lot of people through the door, is it too low? And vendors always ask me that. I don't want to go too low. But I've had properties, and it obviously depends on the market as well. I've had properties in the past where, when the market was flying, doing very well post COVID, I could put someone at 700 and it would go for 740. So it would go for the value because people would fight for it and you'd get sealed bids. I did it with my own house. My own house at the time was, nobody had ever broken the 700 mark on my road. And I thought it would have been suicidal for me to go over 700 at that point in time, even though there was a lot of interest and a lot of pent-up demand from COVID. I just thought the moment I go over 700 on my road in my area, I'm not going to get as many eyes on me, because in layman's terms, the way Rightmove works, for example, is that for people to search over 700, even if I go 701, they have to go up to 800 to see me. And then it goes high to low. So anyone that's searching in the area, most of them don't even bother go 800 because that wasn't really the budget for that area or that road. So I thought the best thing to do for me is put it on at 7 and guide price it upwards. And that's what happened. I put it on at 7. I've got loads of people through the door. And I got 740 in the end. Whereas one opposite was on with another agent and they tried at 710. And guess what? Didn't get half the viewings. Until I took it off them. And I said to them, they were like, "Oh, I want to put it on 710 because I want to get 700. You want to get 700, put it on at 700 because you'll get it. In fact, you'll probably get more." And they did. Funnily enough, they did. They got 712. So there you go. Whereas at 710, they weren't getting any viewings. So the price matters. I mean, more than anything for me, that's the number one.
And so the people turning up, the viewings. So now we got load of viewings levels because the price is right. Are you saying then that is buyers are then competing? Buyers are not seeing problems with the property; they're seeing opportunities and possibilities. Are you saying? Are you saying buyers aren't stupid?
Buyers aren't stupid at all. Buyers will know. Buyers are looking at the area as a whole, for example, and they say, it's not difficult to value. I don't think it's, I mean, obviously I value property, but I don't think it's rocket science these days with the tools we have and the tools buyers have. They're going on Rightmove. They're looking at a 3-bed mid-terrace house in this area. Why am I going to go and pay 750 for that when there's one there for 700? You generally can see what the values are of the house. And now if they're coming through the door and they really like it, what they pay, again, it depends on the market at the time. But if you're in a buoyant market and there's 5 or 6 people viewing it, or there's 10, 12 people viewing it, all you need is 2 to fight for it, and it will go for what it's worth. Simple as that. Nobody likes being involved in a sealed bid. And to be honest, even as an agent, I'd rather have one good buyer than having 2 or 3 fighting for it, and I'm having to let 2 down. I know that sounds crazy because people say, the agents want as much as possible. The difference in commission for me between 700 and 740 is bugger all, right? So, but it's just the way of the market. If 2 people want it, they're going to fight for it. Simple as that. Buyers are not stupid. They'll put in what they feel it's worth. And sometimes in a good market, they'll probably go in a bit higher just to make sure they secure it. And obviously the market has changed now, but this is even more important to get the price right now, because at the moment, the viewing levels have dropped significantly, especially first-time buyers at the moment. So the moment you get, buyers are now hypersensitive to pricing. So you get that price wrong now, there's no viewings going through the door. And even if you get it right now, you're not going to get as many as you would have done a few years ago. But at least you're going to get the viewings, and you've got half a chance once they're through the door.
Right, wicked. Right. So we're saying the number one thing that truly maximizes the value of someone's house is that they go on for the right price.
100%.
Right. So what does a seller need to see at a valuation when they call their agent round in order for that seller to go, fine, I see what you're talking about? So they can just enabling them to disregard the BS and how they can actually see the BS. Because I imagine a seller would struggle to know what BS actually looks like.
Yeah, even just yesterday, I got a seller said to me, look, I had someone round and they told me 800, and I didn't think that was right myself. But you'll be surprised at how many sellers do get duped into stuff like that, because there's agents that tell you what you want to hear, and there's sellers, even though they probably know it's not going to be that much, if they've been told by the professional that no, you can get that, then they will almost disregard any comparable evidence, because I like to give as much comparable evidence as possible. I always sit in their living room and I will open up Rightmove there and then, and I'll say, why do you think they can get 800 when they can't sell this one at 750, or these guys can't sell it at 7? Now, obviously, you've got some sellers who think their properties could be exactly the same. It could be in exactly the same development, one floor above, and they think it's worth 100 grand more. You do get that. But if you sit down with sellers and say, well, look, that's on at 7, that's on at 7, that one's on at 725, not selling, that's not selling, that's not selling. Why do you think you can get 800 on this one? You just got to put it in layman's terms and just say, look, these are what buyers are seeing. You just got to put yourself in a buyer's position. Would you buy your one over that one for 100,000 more? And I just don't understand how. Obviously, there'll be agents that want to try and they want to get it on for as much as possible because they want to show that they're getting as many listings as possible. And you do get people that are duped into it. But as long as you're given as much evidence as possible, and I will always say to a seller, if you want to try higher, you can test. We can test, no problem. But as long as you know where it should be, and I think you could be wasting your time. And actually, if you don't get it right first time, you might not even get as much value as you would have done if you did.
And then you have to pay the agent a fee for actually getting far less than you should have got in the first place, is what you're saying.
Exactly. And it's usually the agents that value the most that charge you the most fees, because they're going to promise you that you're going to get the world. And then what happens is, after 12 weeks of being on the market with them, guess what? I think we need a reduction now. All right, okay. So now you're reducing to the level that I said. You're paying double the fee probably, and it's gone stale. It's gone stale on the market, because it does. The amount of people that call me up and say, "Oh, I've seen this one. It hasn't gone yet. There must be something wrong with it." And that's what happens. So get it right the first time. You'll get the best value, a lot less stress as well.
Right, Nick, mate, you've been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on this podcast. That is massively helpful, because, again, like I've said to you off air, I'm inviting the very best agents in the UK onto this podcast to tell the audience. So it's not just me on my TikTok channel or other agents on a TikTok channel. I want to make sure that every single elite agent gets on this podcast in order to give their penny's worth on what actually truly maximizes the value of someone's house. You've been fantastic, mate. Thank you so much for coming on.
I guess there was no elite agents for you today, but I thought I'll step in last minute. Why not?
Absolutely.
No, brilliant. No, I appreciate it as well. You're fighting the good cause. There are so many agents out there that are just give us a bad name, but there are some good ones as well. There are some very good ones, and that's what we need to promote and we need to push, because zero BS, tell it how it is, and people will appreciate it.
Brilliant. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, John. Appreciate that.